Okay, we're going to start off tonight with Michael coming first.
I'm Michael, don't worry. Bad boy. So this is just sort of a streaming of consciousness that I threw together that I wanted to do for Jonathan on this wonderful get-together. 15 years ago, plus or minus a score, Jonathan Dzik took on the Herculean task of forming and firming the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale Community Choir. And so it went, on and on, year after year, trying to make a silk purse from a sow's ear. A kosher sow, of course. Disappointed by those who sang well but didn't try very hard. Very appreciative of those who could barely carry a tune but worked so hard at the task ahead of them. Those octave warm-ups. And the rehearsal tapes and CDs where you, a natural-born bass, would try to hit notes that would bring the dogs in the neighborhood around to the shul. You coming from rehearsals with a sophisticated collegiate chorale to deal with us struggling through disorganized choir books. Boy, some of your looks. Open the book. Close the book. Open the book. Close the book. You don't have to look at the book. You're singing oohs and ahs. Watching us take 10 minutes to get into size place. Hearing us ask the same question 5 different ways during break time. Finding that someone finally figured out that they need a copy of a piece of music you had made available in the first week. 7 weeks later, collecting the tear-off sheets. Are you planning to eat at the performance? Are you bringing a guest? Do you know your part? Are you planning on singing your part? Putting up with the tall ones who need to be in the front, and the short ones who want to be in the back. The troublemakers, the kids in the bad row, the doers, the don'ters, and the divas. Those who needed to conduct their social lives on stage in cacophonous harmony with whatever the choir was singing on their cell phone. The guitars, the cameos, and the barely audible solos. The pranks, the jokes, and even the passing of some of these folks. Being the president of 50 prime ministers, it took a lot of love. A whole lot of love. And you had it to give to make this choir something we could all be proud of. I pray that you got something back from us, at least a few good memories. But one thing I know for sure, Wednesday night will never be the same. Thank you, Jonathan.
Okay, I see Rabbi Exler has joined us. I would like to call him up. Come say the words. Just please remember, this is a gala and not a roast.
I was told to arrive at 8 o'clock, and I arrived at 8 o'clock. I cannot think of any greater gift I could give Johnny than to go out of character and arrive on time. I wanted to share a few words of Torah in honor of Jonathan and Susan, and of this incredible choir. It's a treat to see you sitting down and wearing your own clothes. It's very special and very meaningful for me, even though many of your tenures preceded mine in the Bayit. I have a great hakarat hatov, a great debt of gratitude to each of you for filling our space with melody, with song at special times, for representing and carrying our name as being the HIR Community Choir. And it's both, as Johnny always says, very much HIR and very much community. And it's also pretty much choir, so that's good too. And so for carrying our name out and about in the community, the Riverdale Jewish community and beyond. When I think about, Johnny, about your contributions and about your creative energy, the time and effort and commitment and devotion that you've poured into creating this incredible group as a group, and the music that it has brought into the world, it feels timely to be it feels timely to be celebrating and acknowledging and expressing gratitude in the week in which we read Parshat Baha'alotcha, because Parshat Baha'alotcha makes mention of a musical instrument which played an important role in the Jewish community's life in their years of wandering around the desert, around the wilderness. Johnny says correctly, as Moses was instructed, "Aseh lecha shtei chatzotzrot kesef." Make yourself, this is good. I like the background surprises along the way. Sing exactly with the trumpet sound. "Aseh lecha shtei chatzotzrot kesef." Make for you 2 trumpets of silver. And the trumpets had a variety of roles that were described in the Torah. They were lemikra ha'edah ha'machaneh. They called people together. Essentially, at the blasting of the trumpets, community formed. They sent people out on their way. When the trumpets were sounded, a particular sound, people marched out, and the camp sort of went on its journey and reassembled. It was also a battle cry. And most powerfully for me, the trumpets are described "Ubiyom simchatchem, ubemoadechem, uberoshei chadshechem, utkatem b'chatzotzrot." That at times of joy, at appointed times, on holiday occasions, and on the new month, these trumpets were blown. And it strikes me in a certain metaphoric way that the pair of trumpets is like the relationship between a conductor and a choir. Even though the 2 trumpets were blown in unison, they somehow created a parallel and mutually reinforcing musical experience. And that's the relationship that a conductor, a maestro, has with the choir. Essentially, they rise together, they move together, and they reinforce and strengthen one another. And this HIR Community Choir has been one that has been lemikra ha'edah. It has created community by calling each of you together, and Johnny, in his masterful way, together with each of you, has created a community that looks out for one another, that marks each other's happy moments and sad moments, that supports each other in illness and in challenge, in times when chairs need to be brought out for choir members, and in celebrations. This really is a community in the fullest sense. And it brings together our community to be uplifted and moved by your music, as we so often are. And you mark our special occasions, Chanukah, Yom HaAtzmaut, this year Yom Yerushalayim, Ubiyom Simchatenu, Ubemoadenu, on our days of joy and on our appointed times. And now is the time for the trumpet's call to send Johnny on your way. And the Midrash asks what happened to those original trumpets, and says that they were put away to come back at the time of the Messiah. So Johnny, that means you have a return date. I don't know exactly when it is, but in kol ze achakelo, I'm waiting, Johnny, for that day when you'll come back and lead again. For me, at a personal level, Johnny, I have so much admiration for you, for your leadership of this group, for your leadership together with Susan and your family in our Bayit, as a teacher of Torah, as a role model of timeliness, of attention to detail, of deep passion for the synthesis of Judaism and music that are so deeply intertwined. And I know that I will always hear the echoes of the twin trumpets of your leadership and of this incredible group. And I'm grateful that you will continue with a new trumpet, and may your voice grow strong. And just know, please, Johnny, how much we love you, we admire you, we respect you, and we're grateful for your leadership and for the strength of your Chatzotzra.
Okay, Jonathan, I think you wanted to make a few announcements.
Is it 8:30?
I have something more formal, but I'm going to go later, just briefly. In the hubbub of, by the way, today, June 7th, on the English calendar, is the anniversary of the reunification of Jerusalem, which was exactly 2 weeks ago when we performed on the Hebrew calendar, the 28th of ER. And the crowd that we had that time, many of you probably didn't get a program, so I found some extra programs. I gave them to Mayor. Mayor, where are those programs if people want extra programs or didn't get a program from 2 weeks ago? Also, we found a binder that belongs to somebody. If they're here tonight, you'll have the binder. If not, Mayor will keep it. And I guess if you have extra ties or scarves that you're not going to be using. Two other little things, and then I'll save my formal notes for later. Just a community thing. If you're around and the weather's nice, next Tuesday night, the New York Philharmonic is in Van Cortlandt Park. They're doing Dvorak's New World Symphony, of which we once sang part of the second movement. Da, 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 Habaita. Only there's no words to it in the symphony. And then the two works by Jewish composers. They're doing Leonard Bernstein's Dances from West Side Story, and George Gershwin's An American in Paris. So it's a free concert next Tuesday night at Van Cortlandt Park. And then I'll have my formal remarks a little bit further.
One could have done without the announcements tonight. Okay, next, please, Mayor.
I don't know if you really noticed, but just a minute ago, about down around the choir members we have over here, and all of them were looking at Jonathan and not down at their books. Before we go on, I'd like to thank a few people for making this party possible. Miriam and Howard Young for being judges for being great help too. Karen Jordan and Rachel Graff for setting up the and setting up the board with all the past programs that we have up there. And everybody here who's speaking or singing. Okay. Jonathan's favorite fan is Avi Weiss, Rabbi Avi Weiss, who is not able to be here today, but technology is great except when it doesn't work too well. Anyway, do it because of technology. Avi Weiss is here.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Hopefully.
Oh, there he is. I can barely hear him.
And here I am at this moment thinking about my wonderful friend, Johnny Dzik. I know Johnny in ways that many people do not know him. People know him as a person who is so meticulous about time, so exacting, so precise. And it's true, that's what makes him such a genius musician. I know him in a different way. Johnny Dzik has a heart that's so big, it's as big as Yerushalayim. He's a person who is one of the most giving, one of the most caring individuals I have ever met. He is a friend over the decades from whom I have learned so much. Johnny, you mean so much to me. That you have been a confidant, that you have been a close friend, has been a blessing from God. And Johnny, may only be Yerushalayim, let it be Habriyah Hashemah. I really offer you the blessing that you and Susie, for many, many years to come, you have nachat from your children, nachat from each other, and that you continue doing and giving and making music, the brilliant music and brilliant melody for all of Am Yisrael and for your Johnny, I love you very much.